This country seemed to do better whenever there was a war or something of this type going on. Everybody would work during this time, and whenever it's over, then there'll be more layoffs and this type of stuff.
If we have to depend on war to keep our people at work, we're in sad shape in this country. You know, that's really the argument that the communists make. They say our society and our economy won't work unless we have a war going on. Now, frankly, I don't believe that. At the end of World War II, which is the war I participated in, we had full employment after that war. And the reason is that we set about doing the things we needed to do that we couldn't do with the war on. Now, those problems are still here. We need new housing, we need new schools, we need new transportation, new environmental protection programs. And I'm convinced that if we stop the waste that's going on in this war and invest that money in programs to build up our country, we can provide a job for every man and woman who wants to work.
Just
and I'm
one more.
pledged
What
to
are
that.
you going to do to help as a working man? I mean, if you get in there to, rather than for us paying so higher taxes, in the meantime, the people on the welfare, sure, in turn, they are receiving money there for doing nothing.
Yeah, but the way it works now, you're paying both for the guy on welfare and you're paying for the fat cats at the top that aren't paying their fair share of the tax load. I can cite examples of people that were earning 100 times what you or I earn who pay nothing at all in the way of income tax. Now, who made that up? You did. You paid for these people at the top, and at the same time, you're paying the welfare cost for the guy at the bottom. Now, what I'm proposing is that we provide a guaranteed job for everybody that wants to work and require that as a condition of welfare, the person be unable to work.
Socialism is not any more appealing to the working man than communism
Who's
is.
advocating socialism? I want to see our free enterprise system work.
Guaranteed incomes is a start towards it.
I'm not talking about supporting a person who has their health and their physical capacity to work. I wouldn't give them a dime. What I'm talking about are these people who are unable to work. Children, old people, cripples, blind people. And I think we ought to guarantee a decent income to those people.
What's your position on amnesty?
I wouldn't declare amnesty until every American soldier and every American prisoner now in Hanoi is back home. Once that is done, then I would follow the example we have after every previous war, and I would declare an amnesty. We did that after World War II. Truman declared an amnesty. President Coolidge did it after World War I, and we did it after the Civil War.
How long would it take you before you could cut the war in Vietnam?
I think we could have every soldier out of there and every prisoner home in 90 days or less. I'm willing to bet my reputation on that. I'm positive that can be done. Now, I think the thing that Nixon is unwilling to do is to cut loose from the II regime in Saigon. He's keeping those American forces there and continuing the bombing, not to get our men out of prison, but to keep General II in power. And that's a price I'm not willing to pay. And let me just add one thing. One of the great problems that we've had in the leadership of this country is that we have had too many people that were unwilling to change their mind when they got new evidence. They were afraid they'd lose face, and so they wouldn't change. Now, I think we need a president who isn't afraid to say, I'm going to change my mind. I made a mistake. Sometimes the president ought to be able to say, I don't know the answer. And sometimes he ought to be able to say to the people, this is not going to be popular, but this is what we're going to have to do to save our country. You have to make those hard decisions.
McGovern, Democrat, for the people. The people are paying for this campaign with their hard-earned dollars. Send what you can to McGovern for President, Washington, D.C.